Hello, everybody. This is the Righteous Teacher, and this is the first in a series of spirituality talks that I'll be giving. Today, we might have some guests with us, which are what I call classic bad wolves, and I'll try and point out their behaviours. So, my friend and co-commentator today is Righteous Teacher number 2. Yeah, have you got them or not? Should have them already. Yep, no. Yeah, should have them. Got them. Okay, cool. So we're ready to rock and roll. So you can go and invite whoever you like. I'll just go and grab a few bunnies, and we'll be viewers. We'll be back in a moment. Now we don't. You might see us and perceive that we're being nasty with these people, but all we're trying to do is change from bad habits to good habits. That's our singular mission, if you like. We want people that are liars to stop lying, become truthful. We just want goodness out of folks. We love all humanity. We don't have a problem with people. We get along quite well, but these egos that people have causes everyone nightmares, and that's what we're actually going to war against. We don't kill people. That's all bullshit. But we do play the games that they like to play just to try and get them to pay attention. Right, so let me go find a guest or two and we'll see what happens. You can't risk. No. I think I'm going to be anxious about coming in. So what's the thing? Hey, Benny, well done. Welcome aboard. Now, hang on. So you don't get your nose out of joint. Benoit, is that you, Benoit? Yeah, that's you. Okay, Benoit, you should have controls. Pseudo, you can have controls. Pseudo, you've now got controls.
Oh no, I've got no controls. I'm on a phone anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'm alright.
All right, mate.
You guys can have controls, alright?
Yeah. Now, once again, dude, I want to thank you for standing up for me, because that's a rare event.
Please give me controls.
No. Rob's in full control.
Yeah, so shut up, you. Method. That's a nice one. Yes, what, Method?
Whoever made that's a legend.
It's the legend.
That looks like a gremlin.
I can't keep up that voice.
Who's that?
Yeah, that's.
Who?
Who do I think I am, Beasley?
No, who? I can't work it out.
Beasley, I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm gonna find you, and I'm gonna take you back. I'm taking you back to the sack with Beasley.
Bye, idiot. It's good to be have a comfortable discussion environment. Who wants to go first? Anybody?
You can go.
Why? What do you want to talk about?
Oh, I'm an open book, mate. Ask me anything you like.
Okay then. I remember in the past you were talking about that you've spoken to God, right? And I just want to know how do you know for certain that you saw God and it wasn't an illusion?
Yeah. Okay. So I have this way of defining this conversation, and it's not in the past. It's only recent times that I've worked this stuff out. What I noticed, I kept getting these, and you'll know this if you're a human being, so you'll know that this is the case. We have an endocrine system, and that system gives us some visual feedback. That's sort of like a little buzzes in your body. I get it largely down the sides, the outsides of my legs, but it relates also to the hair standing up on the back of your neck and possibly to climaxes as well. And so how I began to realise that, oh my bloody goodness, there is such an entity as a God entity, and it's female, not male. So it's, in other words, what it is Mother Nature. And how I came to discern that it's communication, those buzzing feelings happened after. So I would speak out something, verbalise something I was thinking about. And then that response pattern, and it continued, it was continuous. So the only explanation that I have for that phenomena at the moment is that this is the real God thingy. This is the real God thingy. But there's more to the story. I can give you probably about 4 or 5 days of personal experience where things just were absolutely out of this world in terms of, the reality. And I think it relates to what we were talking about with Jay on number 7. He called it predestined. So there's a predestined sort of thing going on. If that's 7. The case, yeah, 7. That's right. Thanks, Benny. If we go to Nostradamus, this phenomena, or this way of explaining that phenomena, makes sense then, because if things are predestined and laid out, then that means that if someone's able to access that timeline, they should be able to report accurately about sequenced events. Now, like prophecy, right? Now, in the biblical context, the prophecies are absolute 100% crap. They used to do it post-mortem. So they let the history occur, then they'd write a story and backdate the story. Hey, Dan, welcome aboard. So somehow, because Plato said this, he said that the wise philosophers were the masters of all time. And so I know of 20, I think about 20 Nostradamus quatrains that I've looked at, and they map perfectly to the stories that I tell in the book. One in particular talks about the 3 kings falling down and the true enlightened one, or the true saviour, or whatever you want to call it, returning. Now, my book says that religions, the 3 predominant Abrahamic religions, are owned by emperors. Emperors are the kings of this world in their own fucking mind, but they're pricks at the same time. And so I'm predicting right here, right now, live, that by February next year, there will be, those 3 religions will cease to exist. In their place will be the teachings of the authentic person, not magic man, called Jesus. So we'll have to wait till February to find out if I'm barking mad or barking up the wrong tree. But I honestly feel that it'd be good for humanity to take those initiatives, come to know who we are really, and what wonderful creatures we are as humans. So anyway, watch this space, I guess. Oh no, I didn't get to give Bunto at all. He's a fucking nightmare. Bunto must, before I'll even consider speaking to him. So you're not going to get a voice here, Bunto. unless you race off and do your video with your undies on. All right, so that's what you got to do.
Ooh.
Yeah, you too, Frank. You're in the same fucking camp.
That's a lot. You made a lot of wild claims there, Rob. I was just wondering, because I'm going to use Occam's razor and say that I can find a more simpler explanation.
Okay,
You're saying
go ahead. Find a new simple one.
okay. They're accurate and enlightening claims. I don't doubt that. I can't. What I'm trying to say is that you're saying that you've been contacted by God, and you're using sense data, to make this claim. Unfortunately, sense data is not reliable, and it can.
Okay. Tell me where it's unreliable and be specific with a specific example, if you don't mind.
All right. Okay. Well, the problem with sense data is that there's always the possibility that you could be wrong. It's falsifiable.
Okay. Well, give me that example. Will you be specific? Like say,
okay.
Say something like maybe if I'm colorblind and another person is not colorblind, there's a variation in the report. That would be a true statement and an example where it would appear on the surface.
God, go now. I'm sorry.
The sense data. Rage quit. He knew I had his measure. All right, I'm going to talk to that for a little bit. I'll try and be succinct. And so I want to talk about the importance of trusting our senses and the importance of trusting our instincts. So in terms of that two-wolf story, there's two survival instincts in all humans, and it drives all behaviour, Frank. So you've been backing up the fucking wrong tree. One, or not completely, because you're still empathetic and you're understanding of the human condition, but you can work much more efficiently and much faster if you apply these simple rules. So you have one survival instinct that's dedicated to the self. It doesn't give a fuck about anything else. Its polar opposite, the alternative instinct, its bipolar opposite, is a instinct that cares greatly. It couldn't care more for all humanity, but it cares fuck all for the self. So you can see that they're black and white, different as night and day. So these instincts, this baseline instinct, drives all upward behaviours. And that's just the way it works, Frank. If you can learn to read that, where'd you go? So if you can learn to read that, you'll become a better professional in your field. So that's the senses. Now, that's the instincts. Let's move now to the senses. We have 5 known senses that pull data into the mind. That's their function. That's why we damn well have them. You can get variation across the population, but within the context of the individual, those senses do nothing other than suck data in. They don't flavour it, they don't colour it, they don't bullshit about it. That happens at the instinctual level where we misreport. And that data comes on board, and then, you know, that's our senses. Now, that does a wonderful thing for us with religions, because our senses are the only way that we experience reality. So therefore, if that's a true statement, which it is, by the way, then we can safely say that Yahweh and all these other elements are bullshit, because we can't sensorially experience them. Now, if we move to the sixth sense, because there is such a thing as a sixth sense, the sixth sense is the endocrine system. And that's the thing that gives us all these lovely little glowing feedback buzzes, if you like, across our body. Stands the hair on the back of the neck, tingles down the right outsides of the legs, may be related to the sexual climax. I'm not sure about that one, but I'll work with that eventually. And it's this sixth sense that's the communication medium that connects to the Divine Mother, which is really what this God concept is all about. She is 100% female, not male at all. So this notional idea that God's a dude sitting in a fucking chair in the sky is 100% wrong. How do I know that? If I told you, you still probably wouldn't believe me. And that's why I wanted to take Sandra on the drive to meet the people that I met and have that experience with me. But she had other priorities, so that's unfortunate. But I can promise you this, you know, and I'll you know, unless someone proves me different. I felt that when I was voicing stuff, so she doesn't communicate through her voice. She communicates through these tingling sensations in our bodies. I would say something verbal. It might have been something with a bit of humour in it, and I would get this tingling sensation. Then I would say something else, and then I get this tingling sensation. So from my position, I'm very comfortable to accept that idea as my religion or my spiritual reality. The final thing I want to talk about is sexuality, because along this journey, the biggest frustration for me was I knew I was always telling the truth. And I was always butting heads with people that were lying, you know, and karma's real, because if you lie, it's with you till the day you die. So the way sexuality works is actually quite simple, right? Males have a penis. Females have a clitoris, which is a sort of like a mini penis. It does get an erection, just like the male's part does. Now, the interesting phenomenon, and I've observed this, you know, didn't do anything about it, but I certainly observed the behaviours. What a woman will do, she's actually the controller of the sexual relationship. She's the one, and that's the way it should be. She's the one that should consent. The rape is not a good thing, because it demeans and it makes, and when you have sexual relationships, you should have love first. Hello, Gio, welcome aboard. I'm just doing a little quick tirade on sex, so when I'm done you can chime in. Okay, so here's the interesting things that happen, and it's this. The woman will tart herself up. She will display her breasts or show a bit of them off, because she knows that the male is attracted to the breasts. The male also likes to look at the vagina. They do. They're the main focuses for the male, and that's what, you know, triggers the excitement and the erection in the male. Now, the woman knows this. She just does instinctually know that this is how it works. What she does, and you watch, go into a crowded bar where women are on the prowl, if you like, and they'll be like little hens. They'll pop their head, they'll be in deep conversation, but every now and then they pop their head up and they look around the room to see who's looking at them. So if you catch that movement and then you can catch their attention, it doesn't matter whether you're pretty, ugly or anything, you can then start to take control of the conversation, right, of the sexual conversation. Then you'll see things like she'll lean forward, or she might open her legs a bit, you know, because that's the design of the vagina. It's a slit vertical. So it's opening up. No, it's not sick, Bunter. This is natural. This is how nature works. And you can actually have, without voice, a bit of a sexual conversation with the woman, which will ultimately lead into sexual intercourse. When it gets to sexual intercourse, probably the most effective way to have that is to have the woman sit on top for a change, the guy on his back. And what she does is she uses her clitoris to stroke the upper part of the penis, which is the most sensitive part on the male penis. So it's like rubbing two sticks together and, you know, creating a fire. And that simple mechanism is probably the most efficient and successful way to have sex. Now we can finish.
Rob, did you hear what Freud said though about women?
No, what did he say?
He said women that like to have their clitoris played with are very, very self-centered, and that
no, that's wrong. Let me explain why. Sex. So would be my advice to anyone that was interested in having a sexual relationship. Always, without fail, put love first. Now, an enlightened person loves all humanity, so that means we don't have to worry about crossing that bridge. We're already there. We're in love. You've got to stay within certain date ranges. I think 18 and up would be the limit for, you know, a female relationship. And what you're saying about, he's rage quit. I'm fucking laying him in the aisles. What happens is the sex is by nature selfish, right? So when the woman mounts the male, she should be selfish and make sure she pays attention to the feedback loop from her clitoris. In turn, she should target the male's high spot. There they go. Got to go to work. Peace. Yeah, well, peace is what it's all about, mate. She should focus on the male, so there should be this sort of almost connection of the peni and you know, a vigorous sort of rubbing thing, and then that will lead to both hopefully getting a climax and sharing a wonderful experience. So that's it. Trust your senses, trust nature. God is a lady. She's the divine mother of all nature. She lives within us all, and get in touch with her sometime. She's really a nice human being. And I've got more to tell on that, which I'll save for another day. And that's about how did I come to conclude that God, this thing called God, is female? How did I come to that point? There was a 5-day experience. It was littered with all sorts of wondrous things. You wouldn't believe it if I told you. But I will outline it at some point in a future video. All right, that's enough for me. Benny, do you want to come to the microphone? Or are you still going to stay hidden? Hang on. Sorry, wrong one. Wrong button. All right. Benny, you got any questions or comments for the viewers?
Yeah.
Yeah, what? What's up? Okay, viewers, Benny wants to know what's up. What's up? Benny wants to know what's up.
What's going on?
Post in the links below this page. Tell us what's up, and we'll discuss it next show. A clone of mine came in. Oh, is that so? Who we got now? Is this the real Benny or? Yeah, sure is. Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
that's me.
Okay, good on you, brother. Oh, people are sniping. Oh, I got it. Yeah, they got controls. Yeah. So, folks, what's going to happen? This little show is going to end soon. Either they'll crash it or I've got to go. So this time I thought about going. But I hope I've given you something to think about.
No,
Benny,
you've given us nothing to think about. You've given us a fucking load of fucking bullshit.
yeah. So Benny, what I'd like you to do, mate, is circulate this particular. It's on the.
Shut up, Beasley. Okay, you got.
Good on you, mate. Thanks.
Fucking nothing to offer. Okay, absolutely.
No, I've got the world to offer, mate. The absolute world. Oh, hang on. Whoa. Is this
Rob's house, Rob's rules.
That's right. Rob's house, Rob's rules.
Hey, Rob, Hillbilly tried to take down your whole hangout. He was so jealous of what you're doing.
Yeah, I understand. He wants God to be a male because he's a male chauvinist, but that's not the reality. He's living in fairyland. Fucking idiot.
And you want fucking God to be fucking female, so you got something to fuck at night time.
Yeah, or maybe. I don't know whether she's into that. She might be sexual or asexual. I don't know. I just love it a bit, so I think she's the most phenomenal entity I've ever come across. Now,
Yo, Rob, what about Nadia? Isn't Nadia a phenomenal entity?
yeah, I think so. I mean, she's disrespected greatly, and that's why I befriended her and became, because, I just feel for people who get treated so badly. And she's some person I must catch up to, but she's also her own worst enemy, as we can all be from time to time.
It sounds like you're projecting on yourself again, Rob. You're.
You notice how he's sort of stuttering a little bit, so I think the walls are crumbling around Mr. Jericho. Hey, Dan, that was the thing I noticed about you too. You're actually genuinely laughing from the lower part of the belly.
Yeah, but you're fucking not genuinely laughing again, Rob. You're fucking.
Yeah. Well, Rob, I tried to take your advice, and I tried to, kind of open myself up and laugh. You know.
Yeah, well, I just
You
saw.
got that tacky little laugh, Beasley.
Yeah. So I saw that in you, and I thought, yes, the guy's finally making some breakthroughs. So I wish you much success, dude. I really do.
How
Yeah,
come you got that tacky little laugh, Beasley?
Yo, Rob, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. And that's the way we respond. We acknowledge the fact that someone's caring for us, or at least, interested in our well-being. We don't do a song and dance. We don't do pity parties. We don't do any of that shit. We just simply say thank you, and then we move on. We're only here for a short time. We want to make it a quality time, a really good experience. That's the agenda.
Yeah, speaking of that, I'm gonna try to get Lady Stardust over here. 1 sec.
Yeah, all right. That could get interesting. I love the girl to bits, but still I like looking at boobies. What can I say? I'm just a male.
Well, Rob, I was gonna ask you about that. Have you
You're a
considered
fucking pervert, Beasley.
Rob, have you considered going to a topless beach on the Gold Coast?
Yeah, no, not really, mate. I just enjoy the one-on-one relationship because remember I said love first. I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. I want to love the individual before we get into love making. And my nature is such that I know that I love all humanity, even this prick bulldog.
You're a fucking pervert.
No, not at all.
Yes, you are.
No, not at all.
Respect Rob.
Hey, Rob, I was going to tell you something. Hillbilly lied and said that he has never looked at another pair of boobies outside of his wife. He lied.
How do we know? Do we know that another lady's shown them to him?
Well, he committed adultery, so we know that he's.
Oh, yes. And he admitted to that, so yeah, you're right. I see your point. Yeah.
Hey, Beasley, you're a married man looking at fucking other girls' fucking titties. What's going on there, buddy?
Well, I've got a question back at you, John. The question is this. Were you not married yourself? Did you not look at titties?
I never asked fucking girls fucking on the internet to fucking show their fucking tits, right, while I was married, okay? But you are, all right? You're a fucking pervert and you fucking know it.
Yeah, I wouldn't call myself a pervert. This is normal human sexual behaviour. Men like boobs.
No,
And,
hey, Beasley,
yeah,
Beasley,
they do.
fucking tits, okay?
Now, women like showing their boobs. They do, particularly if they are stimulated in the right manner.
Beasley, you're a fucking nothing but a fucking pervert, all right? You should be ashamed of yourself.
Now, if you actually have a look, consider a couple of things. Brothels, they exist. Why do they exist? Because the boys want to go.
You're a fucking lying piece of fucking shit, Beasley, right? You should. You're a fucking lying fucking scumbag, right? You should be taken off.
Yeah. Yo. Okay. How the fuck did Rob get unbroadcasted? Rob, go ahead.
That's okay. I'm right now. So, hello, viewer number 2. Oh, goodbye, viewer number 2. Yeah, so he's calling me a lying pervert. Well, I very rarely lie at all. I'm a very honest human being. I will tell a Pharisee lie to the likes of, the Persian Jews. So, but not an authentic Jewish person. The pre-Babylon Jews, total respect for them. Yeah. So, is that the outside link? Is that what you're talking about? That's it. Is that the outside link?
Yep, that's a watch link, Rob.
Okay, hang on, I'll look at it. Yeah, and he's also saying no one talking, so I'll just say hello everybody. That's my call sign. Buddy. Hello everybody. Right. Yeah, the chat's enabled. Go out and have a look. Yeah, so he's calling me a pervert. It couldn't be more further from the truth, because we're just talking about the nature of being a male human. A male human, whether you like it or not, or I don't know about gays because I'm not gay, but a heterosexual male loves looking at boobs, and they love looking at vaginas. And there's a language all its own for these sexual relationships to develop. Women aren't that fussed about the physical appearance. They're just not. So if you're an ugly dude, don't worry about it. Just master the techniques, you know, and become good at. Oh, the other thing I didn't mention, masturbation is a normal function, right? You get idiots like Bulldog who say, oh, you're fucking disgusting and all this sort of crap. But masturbation is purely natural. All you're doing is you're stimulating those hot spots on male or female body, and you're having free sex. And it's just as good as well, almost, because with the partner, you've got a spiritual context combined with the sexual experience. But the woman should, the woman should focus on her own clitoris when she's rubbing up and down against the male penis. That's what will work best, because she'll maximize her experience and she'll be in charge of that experience. And for the male, his experience will be maximized because she's working that little hotspot on the male body. And yeah, there you go. It's pretty simple stuff, really. But that's not perversion. That's not perversion. That's I don't know who this dude is. Sorry, dude. Or hang on. Side chat quickly, dude, or else you're gone. Quickly, side chat, type something. 10, 9, 8, 7.
I sniped him, Rob. He fucking sniped down. I can't.
Oh, okay, good. Well done, mate. Yeah, so
Hey, Rob, speaking of sex, that link on the right there, that was at Talk Sex with Sue. It's a 70-year-old woman, Rob, and she talks about how to give a proper blowjob, talk sex, rough anal sex, etc.
oh, now wait a minute. No, she's barking up the wrong tree. Our anuses have a function, right? You got to stay with nature, right?
Yeah, but Rob, I'm just saying. Rob, she's a sexual health nurse, and she realizes that people are gonna do that anyways, and so she wants them to be safe.
Yeah, but no. Where she's wrong, when you have communication, it's like what I did with that 15-year-old Canadian guy. You got to put love first. You got to have that. If you want great sex, put that first. Love first. Then enter the sexual relationship and do all the bits and pieces that go with that. And they're not complex. You don't have anal sex because the anus is there to, remove stuff from the body. It's not there as a sex organ. And the other aspect you mentioned was the blowjob. That's not attractive to women. Women actually only do it because the guys want it. But it's not, you don't need that sort of stuff. You just don't. You get enough pleasure just doing it straight-laced. And you'll enjoy it more because, it feels good when you love another person and then you have sex with them, So that's the second troll on. What's that one, dude? Any good or? Troll, you there? Down, unmute. No, we might be in hacked. It's not.
That was someone else. That was a fake me.
Oh, okay.
See, I had to remove the person.
Oh, okay, you beat me. Hey, there they go. There they got down again. And they left Sydney in there, so what they're hoping is that we'll get down to just Sydney and have a chat, but they're also stalling for time. So it's probably enough said now. I'm going to lamb it. Lamb. And I'll catch you in a week or two, or earlier if something happens. So, guys, what I'd like you to consider doing, and speak to the two 16-year-olds, Yeah, and a minute, Benny. Start going after these hangouts where people are trolling and, you know, abusing people. Hey, Jeff, welcome. What?
Jeff's okay.
Yeah, he's okay. Yeah, he's a good one.
I know who it is. It's fine. He's fine.
Oh, it's down.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, gotcha.
That's why I
All
like
right,
it.
suck in.
Oh, well, Rob, they keep sniping me for no reason. I don't know what's
That's
going on.
why.
Oh, because you were the first one to roll over, and now you're starting to see that shit. It ain't so bad on the other side of the fence. That you know brings out the little ego monster, and he's a cunning little prick, and so that's why they're doing it. That's why they're doing it. I wouldn't personally worry. To me, they're ineffectual at the end of the day. They're just all hot air. Oh, all right.
Yeah, including Hillbilly, by the way. He's major hot air.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. In so many different ways. And, you know, being a person that really respects the real Jesus story, it makes me really fucking angry when I see Christians do the behaviours that the like of his behaviours. Biggest hypocrite on the fucking planet, that prick. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Benny, but he's now 16. I think, what's the age of consent? 18 in America, isn't it? Yeah. Well, you're always jealous about that. 8 loads. Yeah, he does. He snipes the baddies. So he's a good one, mate. I promise you. I promise you he's a good one. No, he's getting controls. Don't get your knickers in or not. Oh, okay. What's that? Is that some software? Yeah, maybe show me later. You know, a lot of things I've got to get done today. Bulldog left. Yay. Fuck off. Who needs you? Who wants you? I got a good video today. He fizzed himself. So I'm going to take that down and show the shrinks. I imagine they'll initially balk at me showing it, but I'm going to do my hardest to make sure that they actually watch it. Oh, Harry. Someone sniped pseudo. Troll. Well, Sydney, you've been sitting there quiet. Anything you'd like to say? Come on, Sydney. Game's over. Yes, Sydney, speak. You can do it. You can do it. Sydney, do you know whether you're Persian heritage or whether you're Nazarite heritage?
Ashkenazi.
Yeah, well, that's Persian.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. No, it's not. It fucking came out of Persia. The Babylon crew, they moved.
Ashkenazis came from originally from like Germany.
No, their true story goes back to Persia.
No.
Yeah.
No. Well, I'm not saying they aren't Jews in Persia, but I don't. I'm not a. I don't descend from them.
Yes, you do. If you're Ashkenazi, you descend from the Persian Jews.
All right then.
Cyrus the Great is your worldly leader or your inspiration, and he's a prick. He's a prick. No.
Oh dear.
How are these fucking morons getting added to the fucking hangout? This is retarded.
Who's warrior for God?
Fucking idiots. Benny, who is warrior for God, and why are these? I don't have controls. They're never given to me. Yo, Benny, Benny. Don't even log in, bro. If you want fucking retards in the hangout, which you add constantly, why do you even come on here? Yo, Sydney, you want to make a hangout?
Yeah, I might as well, eh?
I mean, I can't even talk to fucking Rob.
All right, give me 5 minutes.
Yeah, Benny, why don't you just sit and hang out alone and add as many people as you want? Seriously, you're a fucking idiot.